I think that there's been a real evolution when it comes to thinking about, like, the tentpole events are what kind of have brought out the need for sensing and responding to a certain extent. But I think there's an evolution from that in terms of being always on with your listening and being able to sense and respond to what's happening out there. And how we can drive greater consumer engagement by having the right content that people can engage with and participate in. So I think that, you know, from 2 years ago when we did Polar Bowl to last year when we did Oreo, and obviously all the Tide work we've done, there's been an evolution from that. Last year, in the second half of last year, we did some amazing work with Never Know and Lavos on Telemundo. And what we did was we used real-time conversation and brought it back into the broadcast stream and brought that back into the broadcast stream from Facebook. Lavos is the Spanish, Hispanic version of The Voice in the US, and we worked with Gain washing powder, which is all based on scent. And we came up with the idea in fact our Zero Dot guides came up with the idea of scent being key and how that could, you know, spin the chair. In The Voice, people spin the chair when they hear the voice they like. So this was about spinning the chair when you smelt the scent that you liked. And what we did is we had the host of the show call out for a response from the audience to drive them to actually then go and engage on a website, to link their Facebook page to Lavos and participate through being the person that appeared when the chair span around. So that pulled in real time from Facebook and the Facebook profile pages. And I think that that's actually going to evolve even further now. We've already been talking to these guys about how we can bring in Vine videos, how we can bring in real-time engagement and conversation, but also build on that to bring video back into the broadcast stream. So really converging those different environments together, taking video from other places and bringing it onto the TV screen in show. There are some amazing companies out there in terms of you know, the technology. I mentioned Never Know, we work with them on Lavos. They enable you to connect all the dots. They tie back into the station clock and the TV station itself, and are able to serve that serve is not really a TV word, but bring that creative back into the broadcast stream and tie all the technology together as well. So we live and die at SMG by sense and respond and always on, and I think that this is really putting that into action.
And what about in the other direction? What about bringing messaging that people may have seen on linear television and then retargeting them on Twitter or elsewhere to see that message again? I
think that's already happening to a certain extent when you think about how you plan across multiple screens with video. I think that already occurs. I think where the value comes is where you can start to really enhance that experience and bring in the consumers' interactions as well. I mean, if you think about a car brand, for example, you think about people like to record themselves doing different things, so they record their own test drive. Imagine bringing that back into the TV broadcast stream, that content from a user onto the TV screen where they are, and them knowing when it's going to appear. That drives a lot of engagement, lots of buzz. They'll tweet about it themselves, they'll talk about it to their friends, and they'll pass it on. And of course you can target that in broadcast stream as well. So you could have multiple TV broadcast streams in different regions, so it makes it completely relevant to people as well. Yeah, so we've been working with Twitter for a very long time. We've got this partnership with them at SMG where we've built out really using the data that is created from all the experiences that are out there. And so if you think about, if you know that you've got a TV ad in a particular show, and we watch that conversation on Twitter, we listen, we see what's happening, we see that people are talking about that show, you can make the assumption that people have actually seen that TVC, and then you can retarget them accordingly. So we know from Twitter they've been conversing about the show, therefore they've potentially seen the ad, and then we can retarget them on Twitter as well. And that can be retargeting with a simple sponsored story or sponsored message, or it could be, you know, a video or whatever content you want to put out there. I think for me, it all comes back to finding the right content and being able to use what's out there rather than trying to recreate the wheel every time. I mean, we talked earlier about having a holistic shoot experience rather than just shooting a 30-second TVC. You shoot for all types of content, whether that be, you know, the behind the scenes footage or interviews with the stars or whatever that might be. But I think it's also about finding the right partners to work with. So two of my favourites that are currently out there. First one is Zephyr. based in LA. They've got a great product called Brand ID, and what I love about that is it's born out of movies and the movie studios and the piracy that was happening, and they've created a video fingerprinting technology, so they could actually see what's happening on YouTube, what's appearing. And so what that means is that's now been adapted, is evolved to being able to identify any content that is mentioning a brand. So if you think about how that works, it scrapes all of YouTube. It looks at the branded content that's out there that's, you know, original and owned, and it also looks at the user-generated content and pulls that all down for you. And it enables you to be able to source and find and then use content that's already produced. The second that I really love, that I've met with recently, is Tastemade. Based in Santa Monica, and they have a huge studio, and they've got different sets that enable you to actually produce professional content that films, you know, cooking shows, food shows, etc. So you can get the professional-based content, so you can bring your brand into that if you wanted to. So that's the first level of Tastemade. The second level is that they look across the network of YouTube, and they look at all the different content that's being produced that's already out there. Amazingly, lots of people are creating their own shows and putting them out there. Everybody wants their 15 minutes or 20 minutes of fame, as it is these days. And so when you look across YouTube, they start to source lots of additional content that you can also become involved in. In addition to that, they've created an app that makes it very, very easy to produce your own content. So they're kind of facilitating user-generated content that actually looks more professional. And I think that they're going to go a long way, actually, and I see a bright future for them, and I think that we'll work with them to create deeper content for our brands as well.